Hey everybody, this is B-Word, one half of the Bleach Brothers podcast, coming at you each and every Sunday with my good buddy, Jake the Hater.
So be sure to join us for this episodic journey where we talk Marvel to movies, food, or anything entertainment. A Spreaker Prime podcast.
Thanks for all the dirty talk, and come back and get sanitized.
Hey everyone, it's Gnome from the Hateful Gnomes Music Hut. I'm here with my good buddy, Jake the Hater, and we're bringing you a bi-weekly music podcast for all your heavy metal needs. Tell them about it, Jake.
We are here to have our horns up, and we are staying heavy. That is right. Even B-Word is producing behind the scenes, turning his mic off. But you know what? We are going to give the fans something bigger, badder, and fucking bolder. Tune in bi-weekly, a Spreaker Prime podcast.
Sometimes people have a story to tell. It could be a story of triumph or a story of sorrow. However, it's their story. It's important to keep their story authentic, in their own words, and delivered in a delicate way. That's where Unfiltered Discussions podcast comes in. I'm Brian Howard. I talk with my guests about tough subjects and pivotal moments. I'd love for you to hear their stories. Subscribe to Unfiltered Discussions on your favorite podcast platform. Let's ensure their stories are heard.
Are you tired of conversations being guided by the loudest voices in the room? Are you tired of people being nice because they're afraid of the consequences if they're actually honest? Are you tired of people that are so afraid of saying what is actually going on that they completely neglect the truth? Well, if that's the case, and you want to hear something that makes you go, you know, that's exactly what I was thinking, but I'm afraid to say it, come check out I Had to Say It, the podcast. Available wherever you get your podcast fix or at ihadtosayitpodcast.com.
In reality, they're gonna be just fine. Mother Nature is gonna we are going to annihilate ourselves long before Mother Nature gives up on the planet.
So why do we have to have a small little turtle dick October? Or fall? I guess it's fall. It's the whole fucking season. That's where women with either enlarged or just well used labia. That's where they excel. Go ahead. You can announce it. I want you to announce it.
Craig Stoney El Jefé. I don't know if he's been born yet or he's in the process of being born.
I think he might still be in the birth canal. I'm not sure.
You're about to listen to Whiskey Hell Podcast, a show centered on recent news, excellent craft beer, and absolute debauchery. While the guys are getting ready, you can reach them on Twitter at whiskey_hell. You can also go to the whiskeyhellpod.com or email them at whiskeyhellpod@gmail.com. At the end, be sure to drop them a review as a thank you for the content. Looks like they're ready. Enjoy the show, and listener discretion is advised.
Saturday, October 21st, 7:04 p.m. in the evening. I'm Steve McShane, here with Fitz. This is the news show, Whiskey Hell Podcast. We look at everything that's going on in the world, your news throughout the week, and we try to break it down for you so that it's going to be something that you can digest or completely throw up, because a lot of it is absolute bullshit. The narratives are alive and well, and we're going to look at them. Fitz, how was your week?
Dude, I mean, it was a good week. It was a long journey to get here. But we're here. I'm excited for the show. I think the word of the week, and I think we're going to be talking about this more. The word of the week is propaganda. The propaganda machine is so much in full swing. It's not even funny. It's like it's you have to put on like an extra hat, you have to be running an extra intelligence program in the background just to sift through what is propaganda and what actually might be the truth. And even most of that is propaganda too. It's incredible. I can't believe how much it's ramping up. It's crazy.
Well, and for everybody who's just like embracing us for the first time, right? We want you to think critically and act accordingly. It's not about making sure that you guys have we're not going to tell you how to think. That's not the point. That's never, ever, ever going to be the point. We want to give you, these are the stories that are coming out. These are the angles that are coming off of those stories. And these are the people behind those stories. Now you go ahead and make the decision yourself. So we are going to look at a lot of propaganda tonight. There's a tremendous amount. We had that last week. We have more this week. Israel and Hamas, tons there. We've got climate stuff this week, which was fantastic. You've even got some Trump hate we're going to get into. It's going to be a banger, and we're glad you guys are along for the ride.
Yep, 100%.
Fitz, what are you drinking tonight?
Well, okay. So, back by popular demand, we are playing our very fun and famous game of guess the beer. So all I know right now is that the brewer is Elysian, and they have a huge cadre of offerings. I mean, they do a lot of different beers throughout the year. They have their standbys, and they kind of do a lot of seasonal stuff. So I don't know what I'm getting into, although I will say that after opening this beer and pouring it, it's definitely it's black. It's not thick and viscous, but I'm thinking it's dark. And it's got a fairly decent head on. I'm thinking it either a stout or a porter, and I'm not sure that Elysian makes a porter. So I think I might already know what we're gonna have here, but I'm gonna give it a taste. Give it a run. This time of year, what I love about Elysian, they do their pumpkin pack, and so they do like 4 different pumpkin beers. They do an imperial pumpkin, a regular pumpkin ale, their night owl, and then they do like a cappuccino coffee pumpkin beer, and then they do my favorite, which is I forget what it's called, like the night owl or the night.
I think it's night owl.
No, night owl's the ale. They do one that's it's a pumpkin stout. But anyway, so it comes in this pumpkin pack, and if I can find it, I buy it. I mean, I love every one of the beers. I like having them in combinations. So anyway, this time of year, that's usually what I do with Elysian. But I don't think this is any one of those. This isn't pouring like any one of those beers. So let me give it a run here.
All right.
All right. Definitely a stout. It's got to be the Dragon's Tooth. It's got to be. That's the only stout they make. It's beautiful beer. Let me do the reveal here. Yep. Nailed it. This is the Dragon's Tooth stout. Really, you know what? I overlooked this one. I've had this beer before, but not for years. I overlook it because I'm like, yeah, it's decent, but this is really fucking good tonight. This is a stouts lover's stout. Really heavy on the malts, almost burnt, like a really crisp burnt malt, heavy dark malt to this beer. Which that's as a stout lover, that's what I love about stouts. I mean, you have your Guinnesses, which aren't as burnt. This one's nice and flavorful. You got a lot of the flavor notes, so really very impressive. Very impressive. I forgot about this beer. I will definitely be going back to it again. Nice job, Elysian. What about you? What are you drinking first?
So actually I have a beer from Jester King. This one is going to be Grim Harvest. Now, it's a farmhouse ale, and they made it with blackberries. Pouring it out, you have a very, very red. It is for sure a very red texture. I'll go ahead and I'll take a sip here. Very dry. Not as dry as the barley wine, or not barley wine, the farmhouse ales that I had, I think either last week or the week before. Days kind of run together here for me, but not quite a wine-like, right?
Right.
But very drinkable. You get a nice fruit at the very beginning, but then you get the nice farmhouse, very much a drinkable ale. And again, this is like a 5.2 or something beer. So this is the one that you have when you're coming in, having a hot day, you're working out in the yard. Granted, we've talked about farmhouse ales before being something, a Belgian that you'd have when you come in from working in the fields and stuff like that. So it's very, very much authentic. Not as much as a wine though. So I'm still enjoying it. But it's very much a dry farmhouse.
Nice. That color. I mean, is that the color that actually pours out of the glass? That is like that amber red is just, that's what I'm seeing on the screen. Is that what it pours out?
It totally does. And the head on it also was very, very thick too. So that was kind of surprising.
It's a redhead.
It is very, well, no, actually it's more of a pink.
Oh, okay. Even better.
Yeah.
Everyone likes the pink head.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Excellent.
All right. So fantastic beers to go ahead and start. This is really good, really good. A big thank you to our folks in chat tonight. Joe, thanks for coming. We appreciate you jumping in here. L Beard. And if you guys didn't know this, you guys definitely need to check out Beard on the at ATW movie review. He's on there every weekend. It's after the weekend movie reviews. Really pretty cool. He's been guy has a great perspective, especially on Star Wars. So
yeah,
you guys would really enjoy that.
That kind of surprised me. I mean, just a dude out of the middle of Texas, a blue collar guy, hardworking, somebody that on every level you can admire because of the hard work he puts in every day to just make it work for his life. But he's also a fucking major Star Wars nerd. And I capital R respect on that.
He's willing to call out the bullshit that goes along with Star Wars now,
which there's a lot these days, and he's willing to call it out. So major props on that. I'm not saying it's a surprise necessarily, but I just wouldn't have guessed it. And now that I know who you are, and I mean I've seen some of your Twitter posts, and we've talked, here on the show. I get it, but it was a surprise at first, and good on you, dude. Like, keep fucking shredding, Star Wars canon, or at least what they're passing off as Star Wars canon these days, because it's bullshit. So good on you. And yeah, he's legit, knows his stuff, and he's on, a couple of podcasts, just talking about what he knows. So good stuff.
But you guys can go and totally follow Beard of Liberty, and great posts, even political posts that he gets into.
Yeah.
Just really well thought out, very, very, very poignant stuff. So great follow. Aaron, I had to say it, Pod. Thanks for joining us tonight. Buttercup is in the house also. Elle, thank you again for being here. All right, Fitz, we're going to go and start from this wonderful young lady who's very upset. She's 26 years old, in her nice leather seats in her car. She's very upset. She's ranting on TikTok, it looks like. Blue sky above, nice sunroofs, and she's very, very upset about
she's clearly in California, I would say. I think she's in Southern California.
All right, well, let's go and see what she's so upset about.
I have a bone to pick with America! So I'm headed to my serving job. I fucking hate it. I fucking hate it. Tell me why I make more money serving. I have my literal business marketing degree that put me in a cute $80,000 in debt. And I make more serving sushi rolls because I've been applying to marketing jobs fucking for weeks now. And the pay cut is insane. Insane. But the jobs that are like a cute $150,000 to $200,000 a year, I'm not getting those. I'm a almost 25-year-old, my birthday soon, almost 25-year-old chick going against, corporate ass America, people with so much experience. All I got is my degree. People say, get your degree, but then they don't talk about how you need experience. The degree was the experience! I need to relax.
She needs to relax.
Yikes. I mean, yes, that's the one thing she said in that whole thing that I absolutely agree with. That you need to calm the fuck down. Calm down, little girl. We were close. She's almost 25. I forgot that she says her age in the video. I know that everybody in chat, I know we are all on the same page because there were some amazing comments. Maybe let's start with the comments that we got from this, because I think everybody agrees this person is endemic of what is really the issue with the younger crowd of the younger generation today, which is that they have this sense of entitlement way more than I ever thought they would. It's unbelievable.
Big Nick. Yeah, I find it hard to have sympathy for someone with not one, but two moonroofs.
Mm-hmm.
Nerd in Texas, I palmed my face so hard, just me sitting here with the marketing side jobs without a marketing degree. The degree is not the experience, it's the education. Mike from Wheelbarrow Full of Dicks, if she has lots of serving experience, maybe the restaurant will promote her to manager. Thank you, Mike. Yamil R. Suede. By the way, she wants a marketing job. I heard Bud Light is hiring and they want a woke wanker for the job. She would fit in perfectly in that job. Well, Russell, host of the Canadian Conservative, spoiled brat who thinks she's better than the common class. She hates because she got herself into debt. She should be thankful for her job and use it to leverage her skills by offering to promote them and work on campaigns for them and such. Yeah. Richard B. Just do OnlyFans, dear.
I mean, she'd make bank.
It would be fine, right?
Yeah, she'd kill it.
So we got some really great comments about this one, and it's more entitled bullshit, and I'm hoping my kids know better. I don't know where this comes from, other than you were sold a bill of goods.
Yeah.
We've all incurred debt from school. Okay. We've all taken student loans, and it's all been predarized. Okay. Student loans are some of the most awful things that you can do, but you can't go to school unless you're going to go ahead and take them. But you can't come out and expect that you're going to get a job, $150,000 a year job right out of the gate. No.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. No. And I will say the one part where I empathize slightly is that these, the banks and the colleges, they have really made it seem like you're worthless if you don't have a college degree. And so these kids are kind of just doing honestly, I don't think she's an idiot. I don't think she's stupid. I think she did what she thought was right, and probably what her parents and, her aunts and uncles and grandparents were all telling her was the right thing to do. Yes, honey, go to college. So she did. Well, it was a mistake. We all make mistakes. Now quit bitching about it and work your way out of it. That would have been a much better video. Like, hey, I was sold a bill of goods that was bullshit, and now it sucks because I'm in a job I really don't like. But you know what? I'm gonna fucking pound the pavement. I'm gonna work my way out of this shit, and I'm gonna show those college professors what's what. And because that video I would have loved. not this whiny $150,000 to $200,000 a year job. Are you shitting me? I have never, nor will I ever have a job that pays me that much, most likely.
I'm doing okay in mine. I've got a degree, but I also busted my ass for 23 years, 22 years to get to where I am.
Yep.
So, no, sweetie, I'm sorry. It doesn't work.
No.
Anyway, thank you very much for the comments. You guys are fantastic, and we really do want to get the feedback when you have something like this. The other thing that popped up this week was that X is going to start charging $1 a year for access.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to ask you right off the bat, and I think I've already mentioned it. I will end up paying $1 for my alt account, my personal account. Just because I want to have that ability to say whatever I want to say and be able to move in this ecosphere. What about you though?
Okay. I mean, I guess my hot take, at this moment in time, right now, I feel like Twitter I believe me, I am not singing all of Twitter's praises. I am not, swinging on Twitter's balls here. That's not, but for all of its ups and downs, all of its positives and negatives, right now, Twitter is the closest thing we can get to actual free speech. You will absolutely see both sides of the spectrum, crazy shit on the left and crazy shit on the right, and a lot of conversation in between. And it's really the only place you can have that Elon is fighting for, and he's getting pushback, but he's fighting for an open forum. He's not censoring anybody, at least he's trying not to, like YouTube and Instagram and TikTok, and we know the whole story. We've covered this plenty on the show. So to me, that is absolutely worth 100 cents from me per year. I mean, and anyone who says it's not worth it to them, number one, fine, fuck off, go away. That's cool. I don't care. You don't need to be on here then. And number two, why not? You're paying how much for Netflix? How much for Amazon? How much for Hulu? How much for what we got? Paramount now, it has their own thing. We have NBC has their own service, Disney. So right. you're willing to pay probably a total of $120 to $150 a year for all of that bullshit, which is, oh, by the way, propaganda. I guess that's the word of the night. With all the woke bullshit that happens there, but you're not willing to pay $1 to be a part of this. I mean, I'll just call it a sort of national, town hall that along with all the shit, you get some really good insights out of Twitter. And listen, you have to do the work. You have to be able to sift through what is propaganda, what is fake, what's a fucking video game that they want to pass off as war footage. You have to sift through all that. But once you do, you actually get down to some pretty intelligent people who are trying their best to make their way through all of this muck and mud. And I'd like to be a part of that. So yeah, I'll pay the $1.
Question went out. We did a poll on this. Will you spend $1 a year on X in order to converse on Twitter? And I know I screwed up those names, but whatever. Those who don't would have read-only access. So somebody can actually go out there and they can still read the tweets and things, but they're not going to be able to converse. You're going to be stuck on the outside looking in.
Right.
As far as people paying the $1, 35.9%. Nah, not going to pay the $1, 64.1%. I thought it was an interesting poll to have. 281 votes were measured.
Yeah.
Aaron, $1 a year. Yeah, I'll drop that just to keep rage tweeting at politicians. I know they don't read them, but it makes me feel better briefly a little. Porn Stash Podcast. If it's only $1, I for sure will. Small price to pay for promoting the pod. What the Flip Pod. $1 a year is nothing, so I would pay, but I do expect some new features that I haven't currently got. I agree with that. I think you should still.
Yes.
I think you should be able to get some of the other
100%.
other stuff that goes along with
100%.
it.
Well said.
JHSDI or at Olthep. If it's to get rid of bots, he should just do $0.01 a year. That way you'll have to sign up with a credit card. And then a lot of this is to get the credit card involved. It truly is.
100%. Yeah, because remember, he wants to move X towards a everything platform. You can send money via X. You can buy things off of X. He wants it to be all inclusive. And in order to do that, you're going to have to enter your deeds. And one way to do that is to just pay the dollar to be part of.
Yeah.
I mean, how much do people pay for Amazon Prime? What is it, like $100 a year or something?
Oh, it's more than that now.
Same,
I think it's
same
like
concept.
like 119 or 120 or something. They just jacked the prices up.
Same
125.
concept.
L gave it to us 125 in chat.
Okay, so there you go. Thank you, L. So here's the deal. I get it. If your argument is, hey, I really don't want to participate in the conversation. I don't feel like I have anything valid to say. So why would I pay? I'm just reading anyway.
Right.
Totally valid argument. I'm willing to take that. I wish that wasn't the case. I think everybody probably has something valid to say. I think everybody should want to participate in the debate that's going on to, this is going to sound dramatic, but save our country, save our country's soul, our heartbeat. You should all want to participate in that. But I get it if you don't, or if you'd rather just kind of sit back and let all of us, hack it out. But on the flip side of it, you have to know what X's plans are in the future. And if it's going to be this everything app he wants it to be, you're going to have to participate on some level.
I think the overall goal of X is interesting. I think it's kind of scary when you think about WeChat and how it's used in China. And we need to do a deep. I know we were actually talking about doing a deep dive on WeChat. I know that was one of the ones we want to do this month. I don't know that we're going to get to it. But the all-in-one app is an interesting idea. It really is. Having somebody's livelihood tied to it, though, like WeChat, the social credit score aspect is frightening when you start taking in some of that stuff into account.
100% agreed.
So great poll. Appreciate everybody chiming in there, and we'll keep doing that whenever we can. We want to keep getting more stuff that's out there that's valuable. Fitz, we need to talk about the elephant in the room.
Oh, which one?
Well, we have a birth to announce, right?
Yes, I was hoping you were going to go here next. Yes, we do. We do have a new member of the Whiskey Hell family.
We do.
Go ahead. You can announce it. I want you to announce it.
Craig Stoney El Jefé. I don't know if he's been born yet or he's in the process of being born.
I think he might still be in the birth canal. I'm not sure.
I think he might be. The big wheel on the tricycle, El Jefé, was rushed to the hospital in very dramatic fashion. He took himself.
He drove himself.
He drove himself to the.
It was
ER.
such a sudden pregnancy.
It
you
really was.
You don't see a thing like that coming.
We didn't know. No, and you would think a man of his knowledge and his experience in the pregnancy game, you would have known this.
Yeah, and his girth.
Didn't. And his girth is even wider now. So this is the scary part. Whoever accepts him next is they're going to be.
They are in for a ride.
They are in for a ride, right? So El Jefé may or may not be with us tonight. He's currently struggling through a long labor of trying to project the latest addition to the Whiskey Hell family, 7mm kidney stone, Craig Stoney El Jefé.
And Jefé, in all seriousness, all joking aside, we had to do that, A, and B, I'm sorry you're going through that. I've never done it myself. I have heard that it is the closest thing the men can get to childbirth, and also just quickly, I want to add that I want you to be taking notes because we want a full reporting of this thing.
Well, apparently he's got a stint in there now, and he's at full mast, and he can't get rid of it. Like, it's just going to be there for like the next 2 weeks. I don't know what he's going to do.
He's stuck at midnight.
Yeah.
It's a perpetual midnight.
Yeah.
Oh man,
he's just at attention.
All right, ladies, now's your chance. He cannot stop it. So get over there.
No, I'm waiting. And Beard brings up a really good point. Yeah, he's totally at full mast, and now he has to go into work with this.
Right.
And we need to know how this goes, because does he tape it to his leg? He can't, I don't think.
To your hip, you mean? Or in Jefe's case, to his stomach? I mean, and if you do, I mean, okay, let's just get down to brass tacks here. I know there's a, quote unquote uniform at work, but can he just wear gray sweatpants just for this time being? Number one, to be comfortable, but number two, let's give the ladies a look here. Let's let them see what he's packing.
I think that's in order, and I think you can get some kind of an FMLA excuse to be able to do that.
Oh, for sure. It's an accommodation. It's a medical accommodation.
It is.
Some people get to wear they get to use crutches at work. They get to wear their stupid little inflatable boot or whatever when they have fasciitis, plantar fasciitis. So he should get to wear gray sweatpants and a free roll of duct tape so that he can strap that bitch on.
So hats off to Jefé for pushing one out for the team. We're looking forward to having you back. And I don't know that he's going to be on tonight, but you never know. I'm hoping that he's really drugged up and comes on.
Yes, that's what I was going to say.
So
we'll
see what happens.
For morphine Jefé. That's
yes.
what I'm rolling the dice on that one.
Hey, Fitz, did you know that we can afford 2 wars?
Well, I do now, because America's favorite bingo grandma, Janet Yellen, she came out this week, and she took time away from bingo and decided to come out and tell us all that America can absolutely afford 2 wars. And I'm really thankful I'm thankful she told all of us that, because we all actually have the power to change that. And so I wasn't sure which way I was going to vote. Should I vote for a war? Should I not? And then she comes out and is like, oh, dude, we can totally afford it. And I was like, bro, thank God. So now I'm voting for the war, obviously. And on top of that, I hope I get drafted. That's, that's my real wish, is I don't want to only just spend my money to kill other people. I want to actually be drafted and go get killed. That's my wish. That's cool. Thank you, Janet.
How brazen and ridiculous do you have to be? How bought and paid, just absolutely paid for that to be your insensitive comment?
She's so fucking out of touch. They all are. They're all out of touch.
It's amazing how well they stay on script, though. Everybody but Joe. Joe's rambling and doesn't know where he is. But while we're all getting prices jacked up on this, inflation is going through the roof. Yeah, we can go ahead and send billions over to Ukraine, to Israel. Let's make sure let's go and roll some ships out into the Gulf. Let's sure the Mediterranean's covered while we're at it. It's just fucking crazy.
Didn't Ballsack on the Chin's Joe just ask for more money for Ukraine and Israel?
That is correct. I believe it was 106 billion, 60 of which was supposed to go to Ukraine, which was nice. 14 billion was allocated for the border. I was actually shocked, but they just went ahead and dumped everything into this one bill.
I know I'm gonna sound crazy here. So just, if you need to mute me, okay? But what happened to the American citizens over there in East Palestine? What happened to the American citizens in Maui? What about our vets some of whom are actually homeless and out on the streets starving. Where is their 106 billion or whatever the fuck the number is? I don't care. It's a joke. The whole thing is a joke. And anybody who's bumping around on the streets being like, well, I don't know, I don't pay attention to the news. Fuck you too. Because it's your money going to pay for this shit. And it's ridiculous. Our priorities are so flipped upside goddamn down. And everyone just seems to be okay with it and or apathetic to it, so they're just not going to do anything about it. Now's the time, guys. I'm telling you, every one of you and everyone you know, when it's time to stand up, we better all stand up because we're not going to get another chance. Sorry, I'm off my soapbox now.
No, it's good. Here, I'm going to hit you with something. Here you go. Hold my beer.
So check this out. With the $165 billion we gave to Ukraine, we could have built 6 border walls to stop illegal immigrants from pouring across our southern border. Could have fixed Flint's water system 215 times over. I like this one. Could have given every homeless vet $2 million.
Holy.
Could have given $50 million to every family impacted by the Maui wildfires.
$700. I got $700 each.
We got to get our priorities straight, buddy.
According to HUD, they think it would take $20 billion to end homelessness in America. $20 billion. And what'd you say? We've sent 100 and how much?
$165 billion.
So we could have ended homelessness 8 times over in America.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. It's outrageous. And they want to shut down the government, and they try scaring people and thinking that's a bad thing. No, they'll never shut down the government. They'll never do it. Do you know why they won't shut down the government? Because people would then realize how little government we actually need.
How unimportant it is. Yeah.
They'll never shut it down because then they'll realize 90% of things that are getting spent, garbage. Absolute garbage. How you doing? Spending $15 million to find out whether badgers fuck better on cocaine. An actual thing.
Okay, I can't substantiate the badgers fucking on cocaine. I tried before the show.
Yeah.
But the rest of those stats, I gotta check them. Of course, do your own research, make sure they're right. Those are all very plausible.
And
That's a Slick and
likely.
Thick podcast.
Yeah, probably likely.
But that's
I
what's
don't know,
important,
you know,
though, right? It's not.
can-
It doesn't have anything to do with us. We're not the important part of this. It's our tax dollars can go and get shoveled over just to help somebody else, and meanwhile we erode, we dissolve into decay. We don't do anything as far as the border wall. We don't do anything with infrastructure. We go ahead and we continue to just go ahead and spiral into this gigantic toilet that is actually better for the world because a weak U.S. is better. We even things out that way. Very, very frustrating. Very, very frustrating.
So there's a quote by Mark Twain that I just love. I've always loved, and it basically it says something like all great men are dead, and I'm not feeling so well myself. And if that's true, if all the great men have come and gone, I mean, who's left? What are we? I mean, is it not time to be great again? Like, and I'm not saying MAGA. I'm not doing that whole thing. I'm not fucking Trump. I'm just saying, like, what is it that made those men great, and why can't we also stand up and change things? I'm hoping that I'm not the only person, and when I say men, I mean respectfully all people with a heartbeat. Why can't we all start standing up for what's right and end this bullshit? And I know powers that be, and they have the money and they have the power and the influence. You know what? The French Revolution proved that if enough of us get pissed, there ain't shit they can do. If we stop playing their game, they're up a creek. And I would like to stop playing their game now. I'm done.
You know who decided not to play the game anymore? Jon Stewart.
Yes, he did.
Apple show abruptly ends due to a disagreement over China and AI, reports say. Interesting that this happened. I actually am looking for Jon Stewart to do something along the lines of what Tucker's done.
Agreed.
I would wager that's going to be the next spot.
Same. Could you imagine Tucker and Jon Stewart in the same room and like getting along. But it's at this point, it's plausible. Because
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, because they're on opposite sides of the aisle, whatever the fuck that means. The aisle of Congress, like that means anything. But philosophically, they are opposite. And yet on this one issue, they can come together and be like, you know what? Fuck the man. You try and cancel us? Watch out. I would love to see that. John, I know you are an avid listener of this show. Jon Stewart, please contact Tucker. Have your people contact Tucker's people. Let's make this happen. I promise you, you will break the internet. I promise you.
You'll break something. It'll be interesting to see what the deal is, though. Is he going to be on a non-compete for the next 2 or 3 years or something? Is he allowed to do something like what Tucker did and do a show that's going to be just based on, on Twitter or something of the like? Is another station going to be able to pick him up? You might have somebody like a Bill Maher type situation, whereas they pick him up again, and then he's challenging Bill Maher, maybe a Netflix. I hope it doesn't go to Netflix. Yeah.
Did you ever hear the story? And this is unsubstantiated, but I want to believe it's true. But remember, Tucker got fired from Fox, and then he made that video, and then Fox came after him legally, and they were like, "Hey, you're still under contract."
Right.
So what the contract said, and this is again not substantiated, but I'm just going to go with it for the sake of storytelling. Tucker's contract said he was not able to do any news show that competed with Fox. So how he got around it was he just said, "I'm just a guy talking to a camera in my fucking house in my living room." Yep. And he basically enacted the First Amendment on him, and they can't do shit about it because he's not actively out there saying, "Hey, I'm going to give you an alternate point of view from Fox," or "I'm going to give you an alternate point of view to any other news network." He's like, "I'm not even going to mention them. I'm just a guy in my living room talking to my friends who happen to be, 16 million per pop."
Exactly. Yeah.
But whatever. There's a way to get around it. And I want to believe that's true because that's fucking awesome. And that's the kind of like Robin Hood kind of shit we need to have happen here.
It is. That is a little bit of Robin Hood shit.
Yeah.
And I like that. I like the way you put that, because you are taking from the rich, right? You're taking the eyes from the rich, and you're actually giving the poor folk, all of us, the commoners, something to look at, something to listen to, something to think about. And while it might not be money, I think it's more valuable than money right now.
Agreed.
Because there's not a lot of critical thinking going on, as we harp on every week. Another story came out this week that was really, really disturbing, and I didn't realize this happened. So this has been building since 2016, apparently.
Yeah.
Douglas Mackey, the man on trial for memes, he was sentenced to 7 months in jail because the meme that he put up.
Prison.
Yeah, put in prison.
Big difference between prison and jail. Believe me, I've seen. Well, doesn't matter what I've seen, but I've heard. Big difference.
So, he's gone to prison for 7 months because he made a meme, and I need to get the exact wording of what the memes were, because let me see if we've got it here.
First of all, the fact while you search for that, the fact that someone can make some political satire or some cultural satire and go to prison for it, that's like some King George shit right there. That's like debtor's prison. That's like saying, "Oh, you've disparaged the crown, so now you need to go to prison, and we'll find a way to send you there." What the fuck? A meme.
So the meme that was created was "Avoid the line, vote from home, text Hillary to 59925." And I don't know what the the fine print on it was, but the idea was that he stopped people from being able to vote for Hillary because they decided to go and try and text this. Absolutely bizarre that they would even consider putting him or sending him to jail, but that's also Hillary. It's kind of surprising he didn't wind up being dead.
Yeah, right. Yep.
How stupid do you have to be to fall for that? How fucking ignorant do you have to be to fall for that?
Well, and apparently, if he's in prison, then that means that Hillary somehow is saying that he contributed to her losing.
Yeah.
To the Cheeto ballsack.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy. Absolute insanity. And if that's true, then that means your voter base is dumber than you thought, Hillary.
Oh, yeah.
They're dumber than you thought.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, and I again, just going back to, you make a meme, whether it was intended for, to be funny or entertainment, or whether he really was trying to, pull some people from going to the polls. Prison, like where people get, shanked and anally raped, and there's drugs, and there's all kinds of shit none of us even know about going on. Prison.
Pretty fascinating.
Yikes. Yeah. In the United States of America, that happened. Not fucking Pakistan.
Memes are the equivalent of the latter day political cartoon. So the fact that anybody can do this, and political cartoons are protected. So I don't think I do not see this sticking. I do not see this sticking. We'll have to see though.
Yeah, I guess so.
Hey, the you dropped the ammo manufacturers info. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so I heard about the explosion at the Hornady plant. And it was another one of those like, oh, okay, here's another industrial disaster, and of course it's at an ammo plant. And then this person pulled all of this together. So UTM, another huge ammunition manufacturer, and they specialize in ammunition for civilian use. They don't have a huge military contract. They just do it for all of us, idiot weekend warriors who like to shoot at each other. They stopped selling to civilians. And the rumor is, I did do some research on that. The rumor is all the CEO said was that they received anonymous tips, which, FBI, I don't know where they came from, but they received anonymous tips that their ammo was being directly sold to domestic terrorists. So they said, we cut off all sales to all civilians. So UTM cut it off. Lake City stopped selling to civilians. There was the explosion at Hornady, and then CCI, Spear, Remington, and Federal all got sold to a foreign corporation, and I believe it was a Chinese firm that bought them. So if you don't already have a stockpile of ammo and you would like some, best of luck to you. If it's out there, it's probably going to triple in price in the next month. So get it now. So those are all the major manufacturers right there that I know that are actually selling to the public right now, because a lot of those plants are being now retooled because we know we're going to war. They're retooled and they're all going to the army, to the federal government. So, and yeah, of course, let's not forget the IRS needs their ammo stock with all those armed agents out there. So anyway, all of that happened within a 3-week span. Everything I just said, that was a 3-week span. That's fucking crazy.
It's interesting. There's while California has their AR-15 ban lifted because it didn't meet Supreme Court
right
metrics. But we still have stuff like this going on. So they're going to try and get you however they can. So just think critically, act accordingly. If you feel like you need to get more, find it. But realize that this is the kind of stuff that's happening.
Yeah. And I mean, if they're, and I'm not advocating for everybody in America needs to go out and buy a weapon. Because, you know, if to quote the famous quote from George, I think it was George Carlin. He's like, I want you to think about how smart the average American is, and then realize that half of them are dumber than that. I mean, that's a scary thought. So no, I don't want everybody out there buying weapons and just shooting them all over. But what I am saying is, it's very telling when, as a civilian, if you want to own a firearm and you want to learn how to use it and you want to protect your family with it, you can't even do that anymore because the ammo's gone. That to me already starts to stink of control. Another form of control that they've already been putting on us for 4 or 5 years now.
So one of the things that's been running rampant lately, because the Democrats have to make sure that they're keeping their people entertained, making sure that Trump is occupied with going to jail, things like that. Rachel Maddow seems to think that Donald Trump wants to execute everybody from MSNBC.
Can you blame him?
I mean, I would never. I would rather the FCC just take him off the air.
Yeah,
but
I'm not condoning public executions. That's not what I'm saying. But Rachel Maddow needs to fucking go away. And if Trump wants to do it like that, I mean, just televise it. That's all I'm asking.
He wants to cancel the news, so they're done. Sarah Hines, a co-host of The View, said as Maddow appeared on the weekday table talk program. He wants to put MSNBC on trial for treason so he can execute us, Maddow responded. So, you know what? Fox got sued. There's no reason that MSNBC shouldn't be sued.
No.
CNN should be sued. I'm fine with Fox being sued. I have no problem with that. If you're not going to report the news, if you're going to lie, if you're going to create all of these narratives that are bought and paid for, that have absolutely no truth to them, you should fucking pay up.
Yeah.
And if that means you get taken off the air, fuck you. That's life.
All right, just hear me out. Okay, just hear me out. You televise it on MSNBC.
You get great ratings.
Oh, dude. Talk about breaking the internet. That might actually beat out Tucker and Jon Stewart. No, I'm with you. I did not intend for this show, and I don't think you did either. I didn't intend for this show to be like, hey, Fitz and McShane have a chip on their shoulder and you're going to hear about it. But you know what? There is so much goddamn crazy shit going on. Dude, preach, man. Just preach, because I'm with you. Fox News needs to go down, CNN, any of them. If you can put alphabet soup, as far as networks go, if you can put them all into a blender and put it on puree, do it. Let's do it. Just be done.
Now, all of this comes out on the same week that, Elon launched or said that he's going to have $1 blue check mark. That was backed up by a Variety. Actually, there was a couple of them, but Variety actually launched a hit piece.
Yeah, they did.
A hit piece on all the disinformation about Israel and Hamas. You know who they went after? All the little guys.
You bet.
All the ones that are pulling eyes off of MSNBC, CNN, who was so blatantly disregarding the truth since the war started.
Yeah. And continue to.
Pushing absolute beheaded babies, They had to back off of that. The whole hospital bombing that didn't happen. They still haven't backed off of that. And there's plenty of proof that never happened. But the ones that they're going after are the accounts they're obviously bigger than us. Don't get me wrong, but they're going after the ones like. Come on, they were here. Those bastards updated it and they dropped all the names.
Oh my God, you're right.
All the names were in there.
They were. You're right. I read it. You're 100% right.
Oh, those fuckers. See?
You know what they did?
This is the wonderful piece. This is how it works. This is how it works.
They had their AI go through and say, all right, take out all mentions of, and then they just filled in the blank. Wow.
Oh, it's variety.
Well, right, but again, it just points to how manipulated all of these, I guess I'm going to put it in quotes, credible news sources are. These outlets that people go to for. I'm not going to name any names, but I was talking to a coworker, and she basically was like, yeah, I just click on Yahoo News, and I just catch up on my news that way. I think I still have the handprint on my forehead from how hard I slapped my own head.
Yeah.
I was like, you do what? I said, you can't, please don't believe that, what you're reading on Yahoo News.
You can't.
Please look at who owns Yahoo News and what their political affiliations are. Don't take that as gospel. That's not what's really happening. Because she wanted to talk to me about the 40 beheaded babies. And I was like,
Do you? Do you really?
God damn. Anyway,
it's just
crazy.
frustrating, and I got into this with somebody yesterday, and I'm beside myself because this individual will not. It's MSNBC, it's CNN, does zero research, definitely not, and I don't expect somebody to go out and do the research that we do, right? I really don't. I expect some critical thinking. I expect them to look for a few different sources before they make up their mind. That would be nice. But you still have this bank of people on the far left and on the far right, for that matter, that just cannot come to their own conclusions. They have to drink from somebody's fire hose, and it's frustrating. When we go through things, if we post something, it's because we've found 3 or 4 articles in 3 or 4 sources that were like, you know what? Okay, this is something we should be talking about. And even then, it might be something that's absolute bullshit.
Yeah, but even then we've been wrong.
Yeah, but at least we're willing to recant if we do find something like that. But a lot of people don't. They're just like, they say it, they believe it, and they move on, and then they never go back.
I think I'm ready for another beer.
I think I am too. How did that one end up?
Dude, again, great stout. This is a stout, I will say, if you are not a true like stout enthusiast, as this one warms up, it gets kind of bitter. Like I said, it's got that real almost burnt malt flavor to it. As it warms up, that gets more intense, and I love it. I mean, I could drink this beer all day, every day. But if you're not ready for it, this one could really kind of leave you with a bitterness in your mouth. So just kind of beware of that. But I love this beer. I think it's 100% solid. And, like I said, I haven't had it in years. I think that's going to change. I think this is going to be a regular rotation for me. So excellent beer. What about you? How'd that glass of, smoldering embers go down?
It was good. It was good. Definitely enjoyed it. Grim Harvest, good farmhouse ale. Not super dry, to the point that it was like a wine, or like I think I had one last week or the week before that was super dry, super dry. But I enjoyed it, but it was super dry. A lot more of a mouthfeel. You do get more fruity overtones with it, and it was really good. It was a really good one. It was your typical Jester King. I think that's what my takeaway was.
Yeah, excellent brewery. And can I just say, like, one of the coolest names. Like, I don't know where they came up with that name or why, but fucking great name for a brewery. Awesome.
Yep. Fitz, I went to Wren House today, and I had to spend some time on the west side of town. And I had never been there before. I was pleasantly surprised. I was hoping that they were going to have a little bit more food than they did because I hadn't eaten yet. I just went there. They didn't, but they did have a food truck there, and the food truck was okay. Nothing to write home about. When you come out next time, we need to spend a little bit of time on the west side. We need to go to Throne Brewing. We got to hit Wren House. There's some other ones that I've already got marked. We need to spend a little bit of time out there, even if it's get a hotel room on the other side of town, just to be able to hit the west side.
Okay, so I just want to point out that you in the same sentence you talked about me coming out and us getting a hotel together.
Okay, so we'll get an Airbnb. There'll be separate rooms. You can still come out if you want. It's totally fine. I mean, never hinder that.
You know what? It would almost be easier if you, me, and Jefé were gay, because we know more about each other than like I know about my wife.
Yeah,
or that
it totally would be, and we would be completely uninterested in each other at all.
That's what I mean. Like it would be like an open relationship. Go out and fuck whoever you want, but when you come home, you download your data to me, dude. You download to me.
I was thinking more along the lines that we completely repulse each other, but we all live in the same house. Okay,
whatever, dude. Hey, I give a mean blowjob. That's all I'm saying. Anyway,
you heard it here first, folks.
You know what? Honestly, I am thinking of things, and I
Welcome
know
Joe to chat.
I know what Jefé is not listening to the show right now. We've just got an update. He is full on Percocetting right now, if that's even a verb. Which is fine, but I'm trying to say things that I know will make Jefé laugh whenever it is that he gets to this show and gets to listen to it. Jefé, that one was for you. I want you laughing. I want you to have to pull over your fucking car because he always listens in the car. I want you to have to pull over because you're crying so hard you're crying. That's what I want. Although don't cry so hard you lose your giant heart on, because the ladies love that.
I hope he gets a lot of Percocet. I mean, I don't want him to get hooked up on it, but I want him to get a lot of Percocet.
Dude, me and Percocet are friends, like big time friends. I enjoy Percocet. Yeah, we are. I've had it for a couple. Well, when I broke my rib that time, and then for a couple of dental surgeries, and I make it last, man. I try and stretch it out. Like I'll skip a few days, and then I'll just pop a pill. Like I would have been one of those people if I had been recommended or prescribed oxycodone. I'd have been one of those fucking dudes, man. I like the way that makes me feel.
I've never had anything for it. It doesn't do me any good.
Yeah, I mean it's a chemistry thing. It's a brain chemistry thing. Some people just go apeshit over it, and some people don't. I mean, it does nothing for them. I mean, pot does nothing for me. I'm sad about that. I wish I loved pot. But Percocet, anything, any of the sets, any of the enes, codeine, morphine, all of those, man, that's good shit.
You sound like a connoisseur. All right, back to my beer. Back to my beer.
Yeah, what are you drinking for your second beer, man?
Big Cactus from Wren House. This is a barrel-aged imperial blend.
Wren House.
28% rum stout. 42% bourbon stout. 14% bourbon stout. So they've got different bourbons in here. And another 16% imperial stout. This is actually, it's one of the ones that are benefiting the replanting of saguaro and restoration efforts in the footprint of the bushfire on the Tonto National Forest. So that's kind of cool that they're doing this.
Yeah, that's way cool. For those of you who don't know, the Tonto National Forest is fucking crazy. It may be the only national forest on the planet that, because of where it occupies geographically, it goes from saguaro cacti all the way up to mid-level pine trees. It's fucking wild. I mean, and that's all national forest there. It's crazy. Anyway,
so I'm gonna have to go back to Red House. I haven't gone out there, but it looks like they've got some different. They've got a Saguaro Society. Looks like they've got different kind of exclusives, Saguaro membership benefits. They've got all kinds of stuff like that. I'm going to go back there and check that out.
And for those who don't know, the cactus wren is the official state bird of the state of Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why, yes, they are the Wren House, WREN, but they have a bunch of saguaro cacti all over their website because it's the saguaro wren that is significant. And it's kind of a badass bird. Like, you ever seen those things hunt on the cacti? They can just walk across the spines like it's just, pavement. It's fucking crazy.
Oh, this is not hot. This is a scary beer. This is one of those ones. It pours like motor oil, and it just, you get a lot. You get the essence of bourbon and rum, and you get the imperial stout. It doesn't have a lot of heat to it, so you're not getting a lot of alcohol. You're getting the flavor from the barrel. This is probably one of the best stouts that I've had from Arizona.
Nice.
That's
saying something. What'd you say the ABV was?
14.
Oh, hey.
That is
slow down, trucker.
Well, for our bourbon folks out there, a blend of our decadent imperial stout aged in Weller bourbon barrels for 29 months, Buffalo Trace bourbon barrels for 24 months, and rum barrels for 11 months, balancing the blend with a recent big stout brewed with Dutch syrup before resting the entire batch on heaps of Ugandan and Tahitian vanilla beans. It is not overpowering. It is not super sweet. It is almost a pastry stout, but it pulls back at the last minute, so it's not as decadent. I need to go back and get more of this and stash it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, dude, that sounds remarkable. So it penetrates, but it doesn't leave a pregnancy behind.
No,
it pulls out before it pulls out.
Yeah, and it's gonna clear any kidney stones that I might have brewing. So.
Oh, Craig, we can't wait to meet you, man.
Hey, can we make sure that we get some baby pictures from Craig?
Yeah, we do. That needs to. Is Craig an honorary member now of our Hall of Fame? I mean,
I'm gonna make a website
Hall
of
of Champions.
Yeah, he's gonna have his own page, and we can have him like through the years. When he goes to play t-ball.
Oh, yeah.
And his first date, that's going to be amazing.
Oh, my God. Hefe's never going to talk to us again.
Probably not.
This is amazing.
What are you drinking?
Okay. Well, first of all, let me just start out with the fact this is from Nightmare Brewing, which we've discussed many times. Their artwork is just terrifying and amazing, and whoever their artist is, I want you to do a mural in my fucking house, bro. Or it could be a woman, I guess, too. Cis. I don't know. But this thing, it's got it. So this is called, let me see if I can. Gunga Rao. So Gunga, Gunga, and then Rao, Rao. And it's a fucking, the most terrifying war elephant I've ever seen. That's what the drawing is of. I mean, this thing is like, I don't know what it's killing. I guess like a giant sloth. I don't know, but it has fucking velociraptor toes on its feet. It's got war tusks. This thing is just incredible. So clearly the artwork is why I picked this thing up. But let me read this thing. This is wild. This beer is wild. I'm not sure. This is going to be one of those that's either going to make history because it's so fucking good, or I'm going to really struggle to finish it. So here we go. This is a sour IPA, soured on pineapple and coconut with Moroccan mint, Sabro, Rohatu, which I'm not even sure, and then cashmere hops. So they basically made a IPA, threw it in, threw some pineapple and coconut in, and some mint, and then put more hops in. So Here we go. There it is. Look at that fucking artwork. Look at that thing.
All of their artwork on just for that particular beer is just nuts.
Look at that.
They've got like 3 or 4 different variations. You know what? And here's Executioner. Go ahead and take your first drink. I'm going to go ahead and look up this guy on Twitter. Ink Rituals is the name.
Is he a tattoo art? Oh my fucking God, what is this? Holy is that guy a tattoo artist? Is that what he
is?
Yes, he is. Okay.
He's from Dubai.
Located?
Dubai.
Okay, I'm flying there. I'm getting a tattoo from him.
Go.
It's all right. My other sleeve, I need my other sleeve to get finished. Okay. So they made a Frankenstein, and it actually fucking works here, this beer. So it's a little bit sort of fragrant. You know, you can smell the IPA in it, and there's bitterness to the beer, but this is pineapple and coconut, and then a little hint of mint on the end, all the way. It's like you put almost like a shit, I don't know, like a fucking Malibu rum shot in a mint julep, and then dumped all that into a big vat of IPA, and then this is what you get. And that's as close as I can get, and that sounds disgusting. It's not disgusting. This is a really fascinating beer. I don't think I'm going to be able to get to all the complexity on this thing. This is crazy.
Interesting. All right. But it works though. But it works.
It works. It really works. It really works. I want to get more of it. I'm sad I only got 1 can.
Soured on pineapple and coconut with Moroccan mint, Sabro, Quatu, and Kashmir hops. I've actually never heard of those 3 hop styles.
That's what I'm saying. Dude, the mint is so nice. It's such a nice, calming. At the end of all that kind of bitter and sour, the mint just kind of smooths it out. Plus, I'm so ready to make out with somebody right now because my breath is minty fresh. Plus, I've heard if you have, like, you can eat some mint or even like do some mouthwash, and then if you actually put your tongue on on the nether regions of a female, it's actually more intense because you got that cooling effect.
I thought you were going to say putting your tongue on a battery, like a 9-volt battery. Did you ever do that when you were a kid?
I did it all the time. I think that's why I'm so good at cunnilingus.
Is that what prepped you for it?
Yeah, I think so, because you have to be really quick. You can't just keep your tongue on there. You got to, flick it. Just really flick. You got to flick the...
Okay, am I the only one that left
terminals.
my tongue on it then? Because I actually, it didn't bother me, but I was like, you know what? Yeah, look at that. Well, I'm drooling a little bit now. Maybe that's what's wrong with me. I don't know.
That would explain a lot. Because I was wondering if you got dropped, but no, it was you just stuck 9-volt batteries on your tongue. Oh shit!
Legit. Now you know a little bit something else about me tonight. There you go. Hey, the AI companion Fitz is a person who co-hosts a show with McShane. He's known for his outspoken personality and his opinions on various topics, including politics and social issues. He also shares his experiences and thoughts about his personal life.
This is all true. Up to and including how to best give fellatio to a woman with mint.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. I don't know. Does that have the same effect on nipples? Ladies, chime in. Does a minty mouth make a difference on nipple stimulation? I'm asking for a friend. I don't know.
I'm not sure either.
Okay. L is chiming in down below. Yes, nipples. No. Okay. Good to know. Excellent information. I am journaling as we speak.
Yep. See, this is
dude, hard. Yeah, this is hard-hitting news right here.
Hard goddamn work right here.
Beard is also taking notes. Yeah, gentlemen, Pay attention here. It's good stuff.
Yep. This is way better than Maxim.
What other? Yeah, fuck Maxim. Did you hear what they did?
Yeah, the dude that's the 92nd hottest chick.
Yes.
Yeah, thanks for that.
No, thank you, Maxim. I used to have a subscription to Maxim.
So did I.
Fuck
They've
you
lost
guys.
their goddamn minds. And it's an ugly dude too.
Oh yeah, no, it's not even like you could have faked me out at a nightclub.
Mm-mm.
Okay, all right. Being honest, you could have faked me out at a nightclub if I was, 7 or 8 drinks in. But walking in first thing in the night, and you're checking my ID, and I see you across the way, I know you're a dude. I'm avoiding you all night.
Dude, that dude is about as tall as I am. Yeah, thank you, Aaron. He is stunning and brave woman. All right.
And it had a scruff. It had a 5 o'clock shadow.
Dude, there was very little work done there.
They lost their fucking minds. Jesus Christ.
But here's the funny thing from this week too, and just new listeners. Just we
apologize.
Just come on. It's ridiculous. We love women. We love everything about you guys, and this is just such an infringement on you, and it's repulsive. Sorry.
It's insulting. Yeah.
Victoria's Secret bolted on the woke segments.
Boy.
They've pulled the plug on that because they got their asses handed to them.
Yeah, they did. They started to feel it in the pocketbooks. And the one thing about those fat cats, those rich people, is that the only bulge in their pockets is the money. So when that starts to go away, they literally have nothing else to offer. So they don't want that.
No, it's DEI. It's all the ESG scores. Oh wow, ESG scores don't matter so much anymore. Woke isn't cool. Let's all get behind the Palestine movement. That's the big thing is now. And we're going to get into that in a second. But I thought it was interesting that Victoria's Secret bolted on it. You should have lines for everybody. You know what? If I can have lines for everybody, whatever you want to do, it's fucking fine. But don't go away from what was your bread and butter totally. If you want to have different kinds of marketing lines, you should. And if you want to have a line for
Victor's Secret.
Yeah, exactly. If you want to do something like that, that's fine. If you want to just sexy for dudes, cool.
I would have actually laughed at that if they were like, hey, we're announcing a new line. It's called Victor's Secret.
Okay, that would have been so much better. Okay.
Right?
When we launched Whiskey Hell Media, okay, the marketing arm of it, that's what we should push. Victor's Secret.
Agreed.
All right. We're gonna reach out to Victoria's Secret. I will. You know what? I'm not going to do it now because we have too much to get to. But that's what we're going to pitch them.
Victor, and then for like the hardcore, it's like Vic's Secret. Hey, yo, this is Vic's Secret.
Yes. That's like the guys who are working on a building, right? They're in construction workers.
Yeah, or they're wrenching on a car.
They're wrenching on a car. Yes,
that's sexy. Right?
Yes, exactly.
What's up, Vic?
That's what we're talking about. Vic's Secret. You must read the bodies. Yeah.
Exactly.
You're damn right he does.
Exactly, Beard.
You came up with something early in the week, which was absolutely a fantastic find, and we're going to need to make sure that we do this more often.
Yeah, I honestly, it was just such a visceral, emotional reaction for me. Just going through TikTok in the morning. I kind of have my I wake up pretty early, and I have my half hour to 45 minutes where it's just me time. The wife's still in bed. My dog wakes up with me, and he'll come and sit with right next to me. He'll lay next to me. It's just my time to just sort of absorb what's happened overnight in the news, but then also to just kind of chill out, get my head ready for the day. And so I'm just flipping through TikTok, and I swear to you, it was like this voice from the past just reached out and grabbed my fucking brain and was like, hey, come back to an earlier, more innocent time. And that voice was Paul Harvey's voice. He did a segment on the radio. It was a syndicated radio show called The Rest of the Story. And he did some other stuff too, but his most famous one was The Rest of the Story. And as soon as I heard, I mean, literally as soon as I heard his voice, the sound quality wasn't great, but it was his voice, the way he talks, it pulled me right back to times with my grandfather. He loved Paul Harvey. In fact, if I was talking to him, he never shut me up. He would just let me talk. But if Paul Harvey came on the radio, because we did a lot of road trips together, if Paul Harvey came on, it was like, hold on. He would say, hold on. I want to hear what you have to say, but it's Paul Harvey. He wanted to hear Paul Harvey more than me. And everything would stop and we would just listen. And so I'm flipping through TikTok and this comes up and I got choked up, dude. It was an emotional, visceral reaction I had to hearing this voice that was so much a part of my past that I haven't heard in years. And it's such a ridiculous, benign story, and yet it's so quintessential Paul Harvey. There was no point to it, and yet the story was the point, and it was amazing. So anyway, I shared it with you guys because I wanted you guys to have that moment with me, and I think it's worth sharing on the show.
Of the story. It was a patent medicine available to the public in the early 1830s, Dr. Miles' compound. What was this medicine supposed to have cured? Well, according to Dr. Miles, just about everything. Now, wait a minute. Only a year or two before, maybe 3, there was a substance many physicians considered poisonous. And this was the same substance, essentially, that Dr. Miles was using in his compound. Yesterday's poison, tomorrow's panacea. History recalls virtually nothing about Dr. Miles personally. He may or may not have been an accredited medical doctor. He would not have to have been, of course, to get his name on a bottle. So what in the world was this stuff he was peddling? Life or death or something in between? Well, as it turned out, Dr. Miles was a medical pioneer. He had taken something which not long before had been considered poisonous. He had put that something in a bottle. He had sold it as a medicine, and what do you know, the medical community agreed that Dr. Miles' compound was indeed good for you. There was a Dr. Bennett, for example, professor of midwifery, hygiene, and acclimatement at Lake Earl Medical College. This Dr. Bennett was most enthusiastic about Dr. Miles' potion. It was among the most powerful deobstruents available, Bennett said. For certain liver disorders, it was perhaps the most effective and the least harmful agent known. It would prevent bilious attacks. It was a remedy for dyspepsia. It would counteract diarrhea. And here was the boldest of Dr. Bennett's claims. It made people less susceptible to cholera. By the mid-1830s, these medical indications were widely accepted among physicians, and the mysterious Dr. Miles, a man we shall never know, was one of the first to recognize the beneficial effects of this substance, this something once labeled deadly. Dr. Miles' compound went on the market in the early 1830s. 60 years would pass before anybody would suspect the existence of those chemical phenomena that we now call vitamins. In fact, the term vitamin had not been conceived until 1911, so unwittingly Dr. Miles was way ahead of his time. We now know that just 1 tablespoon of his compound, only 17 grams, included 238 international units of vitamin A and substantial amounts of thiamine and riboflavin and niacin. And those, of course, are vitamins B1, B2, and B3, and vitamin C, and iron, and almost 4 milligrams of calcium, and 4 milligrams of magnesium, almost 9 milligrams of phosphorus, and 62 milligrams of potassium, and 300 milligrams of protein, all in 1 tablespoon. Dr. Miles' compound. Whatever diseases it did or did not cure, wow, it was a multiple vitamin mineral complex almost a century before anybody had ever dreamed of such a thing. And it was not poison. And it was indeed good for you. And you know, a bottle costs about the same now as it did then. No, the label no longer reads Dr. Miles' compound, extract of tomato. Today we call it ketchup. And now you know the rest of the story.
It's an absolutely genius radio bit. And it was folksy. It was informative, captivating. It is a piece of Americana storytelling that you're not going to find ever again. And I wish I was that creative and had that much time on my hands that I could just turn around and go, I'm going to go ahead and deep dive on something and be that amazing. And then for the twist to be, he's talking about fucking ketchup.
Yeah.
It's just amazing. And yeah, you're absolutely right. It took me back to, I'm driving around with my grandfather in his station wagon, his Ford Fairlane station wagon. And that would come on, and that was driveway. That was like the old NPR driveway, moment, right? Where you can't turn it off.
Totally.
But this was the original though, and that was just really, really great.
Totally. And I was just sitting listening to it again. Yes, he has a once in a generation voice, but also it was his cadence. It was, he knew when to speed up. He knew when to slow down and leave you hanging. You wanted to know more. He was a master at talking. We don't have any voices like that in the world anymore. I won't say anymore. We just don't hear them like that. And I do think that is a very unique, very specific piece of Americana that you don't get. I'm not saying Italians don't know how to tell a story. They absolutely do. But the way Italians tell stories and the way Germans tell stories and the way even the English tell stories, very different from what Paul Harvey did.
Oh, totally.
That is specifically and truly.
You're not going to find you're not going to find other Americans that are going to be able to go and bring that. I would love to be as talented as that and to be able to go ahead and tell a story like that.
Same.
Are you kidding? A 3-minute podcast? That's all it is.
Well, dude, imagine that as a podcast today.
Mm-hmm.
It would
absolutely
fucking slay. It would slay because, again, we just don't have that kind of talent. I mean, I'm humbled by the, 500 or whatever listeners we have on this show. That's humbling to me. But Paul Harvey would have been up there with, some of the bigger names in the business right now. I'm not saying he would have been a Joe Rogan, but he would have been up there just because people would have tuned in and wanted to hear, like you said, that deep dive, taking a subject and deep diving it, and then great masterclass level storytelling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
just amazing.
No, it's fantastic. That was a great find. I'm glad you found that. I hope we can find other stories that he's done, because there's so many. I mean, years and years. There's one every day.
Yeah,
every
day.
Every day
he did for what, 25, 30 years? I mean,
something
he
like
was,
that. It was a long time. Yeah, it was a long time. Well, I hope we find some more of those that are relevant and just interesting. We can go and throw in there occasionally. All right. Do we want to go propaganda from this week? We've stayed away from the Israel-Hamas stuff, but there was a lot of propaganda this week and a lot of protests that actually evolved from it. Or do we want to completely stay away from it?
No. Let's. But you know what? Let's split the difference. Let's fast fire it. Let's hit it. But let's fucking because there are actually protests ongoing as of the beginning of this show when we started.
Oh yeah.
There was major arrests going on in New York City because a huge protest, I guess we'll call it, but it turned into a riot. And the
oh no,
NYPD,
it's all peaceful. It's all peaceful, Fitz. There
NYPD is not fucking around.
No, there are no angry riots. There's no rioting.
Oh,
it's all peaceful.
Oh,
this is just like a peaceful thing. Yes.
Oh, so it's like Antifa. Peaceful.
Yes.
Yeah,
like BLM peaceful. Yes.
Yeah, BLM.
Are
Antifa.
they burning buildings down yet? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Are we ever going to see that? Start of the week.
Yeah. Go ahead.
2,000 Marines set off the coast of Lebanon and Israel to one of the attack groups. Iran comes along and says, that's the line in the sand. You guys can't do that. And the time is up. All right. So that's
wasn't that their embassy?
Yeah, their embassy tweeted that out.
Up.
It's just whatever. nothing. Stop it.
Yeah, dude.
But
Suck
countries,
my fucking kidney stone. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. With a straw. Countries are calling home citizens, so we saw a lot of that. Lebanon, nobody wants anybody in Lebanon. It's pretty much a given that Hezbollah is going to be somebody. Hezbollah is going to get a shot taken at him. Period. I think the ground war is going to go into Lebanon.
I agree.
Versus going into Gaza.
I think they're gonna. I still personally, I know we differ on this view. I think they're going to absolutely annihilate Gaza, and then they're gonna turn their sights on, okay, who the fuck else was attacking us, and definitely Lebanon, for sure Syria, and Iran. That's the order of events to me.
I'm with you on Gaza it's going to get leveled. I'm with you on that. I just don't think it's going to be. I don't think they're going to turn. It's not going to be a genocide thing like everybody thinks it's going to be. It's not going to be. They're not out to kill everybody, but they're going to destroy fucking everything. They're going to turn it into a parking lot. It's going to be over.
Okay.
I absolutely am with you on that.
Okay, but then where do the people go? Because none of the neighboring countries are letting the refugees in.
No,
they're
but they're going to move all the people
borders
from the north to the south. Now, the south is completely destroyed. Now you can go ahead and move the north down to the south so they can go ahead and annihilate the north.
Here, you see all this rubble? Rebuild that. We're going to take your homes in the north. Yeah. I could see that. I could see that.
So everybody's trying to get out of Lebanon. Israel, you've got Israel's removing troops from Turkey. The U.S. Department the U.S. State Department didn't have anything to say about Hamas for like the longest time. Then finally they said, "Shame on you." That was the equivalent.
Yeah, well, and only after, the U.S. public was like, "Hey, are you gonna fucking condemn this, or like where are we at on this?" And they were like, "Oh, right. Maybe we should make a statement." I feel like
it's like it was an afterthought.
Yeah, I feel like they have their agenda, which is money, and everything after that they're like, "Oh shit, yeah. Hey, we should probably tell the people what's going on, or we should make a stand on this, that we're against it or for it." Because we still need their money. Remember, we can't forget about these people completely. That's what it feels like.
So after that all happens, we get this rocket attack on the hospital, or a bomb. Nobody's owning it. Nobody's saying it. Everybody's pointing fingers, right?
Yeah. Yep.
The early analysis was that 500 people died, and this was just everybody in the hospital was slaughtered.
Yeah, and everybody in the hospital was sick or dying already, and so it was like doubly atrocious, because why would you bomb a hospital where everyone in it is dying?
Correct. So that was the story. Everybody runs with this story, and all of a sudden protests are breaking out all over the place, including one, and we'll get to the one that's in D.C.
Yeah.
But the daytime footage, the next footage fits. Did you see the footage for the next day?
Yeah, the next day. Yeah. It looked like.
It was okay. There's some cars that are burned out, flipped.
Sure. Yeah.
Something definitely hit in there.
It looks like actually. Doesn't it look like a car bomb went off?
Yes, it looks like a car bomb. Yeah,
a car bomb went off.
That was an old school IED or an or Irish Liberation Army car bomb.
Yeah, that's
what it looks like.
It was left over from the Northern Ireland Revolution.
And again, okay, we've done our homework. Okay, this is a legit scene. This is the hospital's not blown up. Okay,
right.
Windows are definitely broken, but there is nothing that's been blown up. But we're at a point now where every mainstream media entity runs with this shit, and then we've got protests, we've got people getting killed. A woman that ran a synagogue in Detroit was killed last night.
Yeah.
And now we've got violent protests. And I know a lot of people like to think that, well, you have to separate Hamas from Palestine. Yeah, that's true. But when you've got people who are now we've ignited a flame. Now we've got this big thing going on. We've got lies being spread. They're all supercharged. And then that turns into hate. So no, this propaganda directly impacts places around the world. And it's sick.
Yeah, and the spin off of this was incredible because it was like
it was worse than the 40 beheaded babies.
Yeah, it was the atrocity that Israel would commit such a heinous act, and then Israel spun it and they were like, actually, we didn't have anything to do with that. Hamas tried to fire a rocket and it from the hospital parking lot, by the way, and it backfired and it detonated, and that's what blew up the hospital, which. Again, going back to that footage, the hospital was never blown up in the first place. So anything after that is bullshit. So then you go, okay, well, that's fucking, wow, they're spinning that. Wow, that's really spinning. Whoa, holy shit, you took it to that? Because at one point, I saw somebody tweet that Hamas fired a rocket. Israel shot it down as it was leaving its platform. And that's what detonated. So it was a combination of a rocket against a rocket or a missile against a missile, whatever.
Right.
And that's what caused the detonation. And so both parties were to blame. And I was like, okay, all of you are fucking insane. This thing has gotten out of hand, which, I mean, there's nothing to prove that was true. And there's nothing to prove that any of it was true, except that this footage we have, it literally looks like a car bomb went off. And that's it.
Well, this is the kicker for me. Okay, let's listen to this.
أول مرة بنشوف الصاروخ زي هيك والشظايا هذه فبقول لك تبع الجهاد الصواريخ الجهاد الإسلامي هاي إيه فهم بقولوا تعاون الجهاد الإسلامي.
So just so you guys know, this is two Hamas operatives
allegedly
talking back and forth. And this was released by the Israeli Defense Force. So you've got these guys. I don't. Oh boy, let's just.
You can't even.
It looks like. Who says this? It's like shrapnel. Silence. But God bless, it couldn't have found another place to explode. The cemetery behind the hospitals where it was launched.
There's a cemetery behind the hospital?
And there's not. There isn't one. That was even proven to be propaganda.
Yeah.
It's just amazing how there's no filter. Both sides are lying. They're both full of shit. And how you cannot come out from this saying what we shouldn't be there, period. We shouldn't have anything to do with this.
Period.
You guys fucking figure this out yourselves. You guys are both off the fucking chain.
Period. What McShane just said, full stop. We should not be there. Period. What the fuck? You know, it is comical, and I listen. We are not trying to make light of war. I mean, clearly people are dying over there. We know this, and yet we don't know. We actually don't have a true, real accounting of who is dying, who's killing those people, and why.
No, there's no idea.
We don't know. And you would think, I mean, okay, fog of war, yeah. But at some point, you would think we should probably know that information. And we don't.
So there was a summit that was taking place the same day that the hospital was allegedly hit. This was going to be with Biden, the King of Jordan, PM of Egypt, and I think it was one of the PM or one of the higher ups of Israel.
Yeah, or somebody who looks like all of those people.
Yeah, allegedly.
Right. I mean,
so
we can't assume the actual people are going to show up to something like this.
But as soon as this happened, that was canceled. So mission accomplished.
What do you know? What do you know? What
And that was also at the same time that Hamas was saying, you know what? We're willing to go ahead and stop bombing. We'll give you everybody back. We'll give you all the hostages back. So if this doesn't scream, wow, we really want to keep this thing going.
Yeah.
That's where my mind goes with it.
Well, it's that whole thing of like, hey, you know what? I'm if you kids don't stop messing around in the back of the car, I'm going to turn this car around. Yeah, it's a fucking empty threat. And so what do you know? The thing happens that cancels the meeting, and well, I guess we just still have to proceed with the war. Like it's you can see it happening before it happens, and then it happens in real time, and you're like, but I just predicted that like an hour ago.
Yep.
And so
it's like reading the Matrix.
Why can I predict that? If we're just living life and really trying to do our best, and we don't know what's going to happen next, then why are those of us out there who are smart enough to look at things, why are we able to predict what's going to happen next? And we have a story to get to here in a minute. I don't know where you're going to go next, McShane, but we've got some signs that, for those of you who were paying attention last week, we had that timeline that somebody broke down. Like, hey, here's what's going to happen, and then this, and then this. Well, we've got some shit going down with China and Taiwan that follows that timeline precisely. And this dude put this shit out a week ago.
Well, you're talking about the theory from last week?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so just kind of, well, we can bounce back to
I don't want to skip ahead too far. I'm just saying, there are people out there not only predicting this stuff, but telling us what's going to happen next. And if you choose not to believe it, that's fine, or not to do your homework. But then when it happens, you have to kind of go, shit, maybe I should listen to that person or that idea and take it to its conclusion, because shit's going down right now. Big stuff. And I fully believe, I don't know, maybe we should put a poll out. I don't know how you feel, McShane. I fully believe we will be boots on the ground, fully involved in this war, either by false flag or just because we want to be, by the end of October.
Okay,
that's my prediction.
Okay, you've only got 10 days left to get that in. Do you think that can be done?
That's what I'm saying.
Okay. All right. So I'll put a poll out on Monday.
Cool.
I'll do it tomorrow. Poll, will the U.S. be boots on the ground, engaged in a conflict?
Right. Yeah, because we already have our military advisors there, which again, we had our 16,000 quote unquote military advisors in Vietnam,
right?
Who were instructed implicitly not to engage the enemy. Well, guess what? We engaged the enemy, and then we were in that war for whatever it was, 10 years, 12 years. So we already have our military advisors on the ground in Israel. We know that. Right. We've got a carrier group in the area.
Well, we've got two carrier groups. We've got two different strike groups over there now.
Two strike groups, right? So I'm saying, in addition to that, we will have those 2,000 Marines, that strike force, tip of the spear guys. They will be boots on the ground by the end of this month.
Okay, so we got to come up with the right verbiage on it, because I don't want it to conflict with what's already happened in Iraq and the missiles from Yemen, and there's some other stuff that's been happening too.
Right.
So I don't want those. So this is a full on engagement. So we got to come up with the verbiage for that, but we'll drop it tomorrow.
Correct. Like Americans raising their weapons and shooting at, Palestinians, Muslims in general. Yeah.
So you're on record that'll happen before the end of the month.
Yeah, before Halloween.
All right, I'm gonna go with it doesn't happen.
Okay, great. And just to be on record, I hope you are right. I hope I'm dead fucking wrong.
No, absolutely. No, yeah. These are, and for anybody who's just tuning in, these are educated opinions. I don't want to say guesses necessarily, but as you are looking at the Matrix, as you're looking at how things are unfolding, each piece of you're looking at the politics, the naval moves, the army that's being moved. We know people that are being moved overseas putting into engagement roles. That's where we're coming up with those things. We definitely do not want to see anything like that happen, but these are just predictions that we do for the show. So
no, I played too much Risk. You know, the game Risk. I played too much of it, and there are just too many pieces being positioned on the board. I do hope I'm wrong. I hope somebody. I'm not even going to say President Biden. I'm just somebody can go over there and conduct some sort of peace talks, and this all goes away again, like we've seen over the last 40 years since the 6 Days War. We've really not had anything this serious. I mean, this is past anything we've seen in our lifetime.
Oh yeah.
And
no,
so
I'm
I'm hoping someone can go over there and broker peace. I just don't think that's going to happen.
Well, Testicle Chin Biden, he was over there, and I thought we had it licked.
Yeah, I thought he was. Yeah, me too. And then, like you said, then this happened, and what do you know? Well, peace talks are off because a hospital got bombed, even though it didn't. I mean, that's the kind of shit I'm talking about. I'm talking about a false flag event, and then we are going to be left with no choice but to send troops over there.
So a pro-Palestinian protest went into the Cannon House office building in D.C. This is a building that pretty much hosts, you've got a lot of the House members have their offices.
Yeah, right.
There.
That's where their offices are. Yeah.
So no, it's not storming the Capitol, but you've got protesters being arrested.
Protesters. Yeah. Yeah.
And they're being protesters. They're in the building. I don't see why this isn't a insurrection. Why are we not calling it that? I know police aren't getting beaten. People have been arrested from there. They're not leaving. Why is this not just like J6?
Well, I don't know, because the cops are just, I don't know if they're cops.
Milling about. There's actually more cops visible here, and it doesn't seem like anybody's. It doesn't look like the cops are inviting anybody in, though. So maybe that's the difference.
Oh, right. They didn't let them in. These people just invaded, and everybody's just the security force, whatever it is. They're all standing around in their yellow vests, just watching it happen. You know what it is? Nobody put their feet up on Nancy Pelosi's desk, and so because
that's probably what it is.
Fake tits Pelosi didn't get pissed off, no one's going to get arrested from this. Sorry, that was sexist. She's not just a pair of tits. I know she's also a gifted stock trader.
She's definitely a boob.
She's a gifted stock trader, and I can't take that away from her.
That's true. That's very true. I'm all for, and just for the record, when we've discussed this at length, protesting peacefully, where you're not fucking with everybody under the sun and pissing the average Joe off, is just fine. This isn't, though.
In fact, it's
especially encouraged. It's encouraged, and also when the message is genocide for Israel. Let's not forget that.
Yeah,
and neither side is right.
Yeah, and likewise, it shouldn't be genocide for the Palestinians either.
It shouldn't be.
Right. All right. Hey, we were gonna rapid fire through this, and
yeah, I know
we are not.
We got sidetracked.
We suck, man. Yeah.
Well, there's a lot to get pissed off about. How about the White House doxing our special ops guys?
Oh Jesus! What? How do you make a faux pas like this? Seriously. So not going into the details, we've talked about it on the show before. I have known guys who are, in the special forces. One of the things that you sign up for is that you don't talk about the shit you do for the government, but in return, the government doesn't talk about you and the shit you've done.
You're invisible because you need to be.
Yes, that has to be the baseline for these guys and women. There's women too. That has to be the baseline for all of these people. The White House releases pictures of these people. Pictures. And I'm not sure why they're in combat gear here meeting the president. I'm not sure what's going on with that.
Well, they're shaking his hand. Now, there's okay. The doxing is fucking atrocious.
Yeah,
they shouldn't have fucking done it. They should have known better. Them being there is weird. I don't know why they're there. But now if you take this in a whole different direction, now you've got Biden shaking hands with guys who are going out and doing the dirty work.
Yep.
That's a hell of an optic.
Can I just make an observation? This is a Fitz exclusive. This has nothing to do with Whiskey Hell. This has nothing to do with
Fitz reporting.
This is literally just my opinion with limited information and limited experience. None of those people strike me as special forces people, because you know what special ops don't do is they don't wear their gear in public. They dress in uniform. If you're going to meet the president, every red-blooded Marine will tell you, you dress in your fucking dress blues. You have your combat sword as your sidearm, and that's how you meet the president. Period. You don't have your fucking Molly gear on. You don't have zipper packs on. What the fuck is this?
L brings up a really good point. And
yes.
It's a very, very key set of words.
Exactly.
Crisis actors. Are those just crisis actors? Those could totally be crisis actors.
So the one side gets to be like, oh, you doxed the special forces guys. But really, these people are just FBI agents or CIA. Because that guy that he's shaking hands with right now, he strikes me as clearly FBI. That does not look like a special.
One of the guys who dress up the Patriot Boys or whatever it is,
probably,
that are walking around with the shields and all that shit. Yeah.
Yep. Or one of the guys that spice things up on J6. That's not a special ops guy. Why does he have sunglasses on? You're indoor, dude. I don't know. I don't know. Again, that was just my opinion. Take it or leave it. I don't really give a shit. I just looked at that picture and I was like, none of the guys that I knew, who have some experience in that world, would dress like that to meet the president or go to a press conference. In any way, shape, or form, you would wear your dress uniform. If you're in the Navy, you would wear your dress whites, because it's not yet winter. If you're a Marine, you wear your dress blues. Period. At the very least, you wear your dress khakis. And if you're Rangers, I'm sorry, Army has dress uniforms too. I don't know. I could be totally off base. Either way, it was a fucking photo op gone wrong. Period.
But I do know that Rashida Tlaib was one of the instigators for the attacks. I used a bad word there. Protests.
Protests. Yes. Protests.
Yeah. And blaming the president for genocide. This person and that bag of shit, Omar, needs to go.
Oh, you mean the human bag of shit?
The human bag of shit. Yes.
Yeah.
Because they're still sticking with it that the hospital happened.
Right. That 500 people died.
Yeah, even though they didn't. Oh, and by the way, Hamas actually puts rocket launchers right next to schools and hospitals, and they have tunnels under apartment buildings, under churches. Got to remember that stuff, guys. And I'm not saying it's okay, but you got a little critical thinking. It's just, oh, goddamn. You know what I want to talk about next?
No.
Polar bears.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, our old friends, the polar bears. You mean the ones that are off because there's no more ice? Those ones?
Yeah. The ones that they've been dying off for years, and nobody wants to talk about it because it's very, very sad.
Remember what a huge news story they were on the endangered species list.
It was massive.
It was huge. Do you know that when they were taken off the endangered species list? Oh yeah,
No.
they've been taken off. No one ever fucking heard about it. No one knew. But off the list because there's so many of them. They're doing great, guys. They're doing great.
So we've got a little story here from electroverse.info. I really love this site you found. This is
they're good.
These guys are fantastic.
They do their research. Yeah. Yep.
December 22, the world's media eagerly reported on the findings of the latest 2021 White House survey released by the Nunavut government. The coinciding SH, what was the SH referring to? Because that's referred to a couple of times.
I will effort that. You keep reading.
Sorry. So the Western Hudson Bay is what WH. Southern Hudson Bay is what
there you
SH
go. Southern Hudson.
is
Yep.
referring to.
That's
so
it.
it's not
Yep.
the White House. Pardon me. West Hudson Bay report was never touched by mainstream outlets, suggesting reporters never actually saw the Western Hudson Bay report.
The White House. That one's the White House report.
No.
Reporters never actually saw the. No, keep going.
No, it's right here. That's the WH right there. Yeah, it's Western Hudson Bay. It's not.
Oh, you're right. So that's not White House.
Yeah,
fuck the White
it's
House.
The idea
Western
is
Hudson,
that polar bears were in a 27% decline, but they're actually hiding a 30% increase. They just migrated to South Hudson Bay. Climate change. It's a fucking farce. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
Animals are going to do what animals need to do to survive. They're not just going to up and die. Now, if you're in a rainforest and rainforest is being cut down, okay, that's something.
Well, for sure.
I will give you that one.
Yeah, 100%.
But here's
That's
another
not climate.
story. Let's do this one. This was fantastic when you saw this. I love this. Birds are dying because spring is warm.
Yeah, so this is NBC News, guys, and they are my new favorite troll. So Aaron, Joe, I know you guys love to troll. NBC News, at NBC News on Twitter or X, whatever. They're my new favorite troll because the shit they're putting out is unfucking believable, and it's almost like shooting fish in a barrel. Like, just go for it. But yeah, they put this one out that because spring is warm, more bird chicks are dying. And I want all of you to just mull that over for a moment.
What is a warmer area like encourage? Foliage growth?
I would think trees
Bug
start
growth,
start to grow more. Fungus starts to grow more, which is going to encourage worms, which is going to encourage birds to feed on those worms. I mean, there's more food for everyone. Cold kills chicks. That's why the birds sit on the eggs.
Yep.
Heat, and I'm not even saying heat because it's just a warmer spring. It's like a beautiful 70 degrees out. I guarantee you no chicks are dying from a 70-degree day. I guarantee that.
No.
In fact, on the other side of that, I can guarantee there's more food to eat. There's more chance for, stretching your wings out, learning how to fly, learn all those things that chicks need. And so anyway, they put this out that they're trying to argue that warmer temperatures in the spring.
In the spring. In the
spring. Right. Not like 190-degree temperatures in summer, but just like early 70 degrees in spring. How is that? What? That's perfect. We all thrive.
Birds migrate.
Yeah, and that's the other piece.
They move around. They're like, well, okay, this place sucks. I'm going to leave.
Yeah,
I'm going to go someplace else and have my kids in a better environment. And birds are way the fuck smarter than we are. Sorry, newsflash. They're gonna survive.
Exactly. That's the assumption here in this article is that birds are mindless machines and they don't know any better, so they're just gonna stick around if it's too hot.
Yeah. Well, it's human virtue signaling, right?
Yeah,
we know better. We know that animals are just stupid. they're not going to know how to. So we need to overcompensate. We better make sure that we're doing things to make sure that they're going to stay around. In reality, they're going to be just fine. Mother Nature is going to we are going to annihilate ourselves long before Mother Nature gives up on the planet.
100%.
Okay? Earth is going to be here for millions of years, and we are a pimple on its ass.
We're a virus that it's currently trying to exterminate.
Hey, it's small penis fall. Did you know that?
Where did you find? Well, first of all, why did you find this? And then
it came up on our Twitter feed, dude. I have taken 2.5 years to cultivate the X/Twitter algorithm to bring our listeners only the very best news.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I didn't know where to go with this. Like, there was opportunity. This came in like Thursday. So, you had the whole Middle East exploding and things going haywire. And then this came across and it was like, God, there's a joke in there somewhere. I just don't know how to find it because there are legitimately some guys who are growers, who don't hang all that low. But when it's time for action, the boat rocks in the ocean, right?
I would identify as that. I should change my pronouns to grower.
Okay. I mean, I'm not saying I swing, but I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm a grower. I mean, you can kind of tell what I have and what I don't have, as soon as my pants come down. But I don't understand. Okay, so let's walk us through this article. Where are we going with this? What is the point of this?
So the whole point is that you had Hot Girl Summer, right? That was a whole social media trend. But then you've got this woman who was complaining about being with a guy who was like well endowed, like too big, which is a thing, right? I heard. And now, there's a real attempt to really embrace dudes who are like not like super endowed. That's really what it came down to. And part of it's prompted by COVID, right? We want to make sure that there's something. I'm sure there's a little bit of let's do something for the guys. Let's do something for the guys, and let's call attention to the ones that have really small penises, and this will be good for their mental health. So let's give them small penis fall, and we'll cherish them, and we'll celebrate them, and we'll make sure that they feel really, really good about their small wieners. I'm paraphrasing the article, but I think I just summed it up.
I don't know where to go with this because listen, everybody.
Well, where you go with this is that it's men's health. This is an actual article that hit. Okay, granted, it was 2021, and I get it, but this was actually something that hit. This was actually out there. You know what? Let's go. We're coming out of COVID. Let's make sure that we go ahead and promote guys a little bit here and make sure it's all about their.
Listen, and there's been enough guy bashing.
Oh, it's what it is too. It is definitely guy bashing.
I'm okay. Having some backlash on that and saying, hey, let's promote guys a bit. I guess where I go with this is like anyone to feel ashamed for their body. You're a female and you got small tits. Listen, I'm all about that. Like there's nothing to be ashamed of. And I know
for you.
Counterparts out there for women. There's plenty of women out there who don't care if you have a small penis or not. I just don't know why we have to we don't have like small tit December, or like a mosquito bite February. Like, so why do we have to have a small little turtle dick October? Or fall? I guess it's fall. It's the whole fucking season. What is that? Dude, if you wear the right pants, your dick's not gonna be an innie and go inside your body. Just wear the right pants and it'll be warm enough. It'll, just hang there. like it's supposed to.
You know what didn't make this show or make this doc was the we had so much good stuff that I could have pivoted to there. The worldly stuff, the Russia and China summit, Poland cuts taxes for the first time, China spies, but no, I went to small dicks.
Hey, it's good. It's all good stuff.
Well, and Vice had an article about the best, what was it? The best lingerie, crotchless panties. That's what it was. Like hard-hitting news. That was all about our Twitter feed. I think our algorithm's broken, by the way. I think it's completely broken.
Can I just say a quick word about crotchless panties?
Yeah, sure.
They'll.
Why wouldn't you?
I'm sure all of our listeners are cringing, or they just froze for a minute, like, oh shit. But here's the thing: crotchless panties. That's where women with either enlarged or just well used labia. That's where they excel. Right? Because
well-used labia, is that what we're calling it?
I'm just saying, like, some women they get very sensitive. They get very self-conscious about, labia that are, not all up in the underwear. But listen, if you've got like the super tight, no labia type of vagina,
right,
and then you wear this crotchless underwear, and then I'm headed to go deep. I'm like, it's beyond Thunderdome. I'm going in to figure it out. Those crotchless panties, they cause fucking like a rug burn, dude. They cause burn. And it's not cool. So I would much rather have the sheath around the crotchless panties to make things feel nice for both of us than everything's like super tight and up inside of you. And then I now wake up the next morning with literal, road rash. I mean, do you hear what I'm saying? Do you feel me?
I absolutely do, because it's the elastic part, right, that like cuts in and like gets in the way, right? I feel
L says she needs a visual. L private message me. I will absolutely give you a visual on that, because it's seriously, it's a concern, because I mean, you're with your partner. She things are getting kinky. You take the whatever off, and then underneath this crotchless panties, part of me is like, ooh, and then part of me is like, this is gonna hurt. Yeah. Oh shit.
I'm still hung up on Joe's comment. It's Arby's melt labia, perhaps.
Yes, let's go with that. But that's beautiful. That's
okay. How about we don't have anything in there? They're just go with the garter, go with the belt around the midsection, and you're done. You don't need to have.
I love it.
There you go. You don't need anything else in there.
Yeah. There's no risk of friction.
Yeah.
Right.
God.
Because I'm certainly going to get you wet, but now it's like, we still have, because here's the thing: those crotchless panties, they're never like a nice soft satin. They're always that really rough lace shit, and that hurts, ladies. That hurts. I'm telling you, that hurts all the way to my soul. Lace hurts my soul.
Vice is the worst.
It's the worst. It looks great. It feels like shit. It might as well be fucking 60 grain sandpaper. Am I right, fellas? It's terrible.
You are for sure right, and I'm never, ever going to put another Vice article on our show ever again. Step up your pegging game.
Yeah, seriously.
Really? Strap on a harness and underwear can range from the snorlingly utilitarian to the... I fucking hate this. I hate this site. Yeah, I'm never putting Vice on here ever again.
Fuck Vice.
We're done. We're done with Vice. I have a Vice against Vice. Fitz, what beer are you taking to bed?
Damn. That's tough. And I'm actually surprised I'm even having to think about it, because the Elysian Stout, as I've said, it's just sort of a standby. It's always available to me up here. And I skip over it all the time. Yet tonight, it hit on all cylinders, man. That thing was a fucking V8 hitting on all cylinders.
Okay.
But I'm going to have to take this fucking War Elephant Gunga Rao to bed, because it is so unusual, so special, so unique. I've never had anything like it. I probably won't ever have anything like it again, and I probably don't want to. So this is me traveling to Amsterdam, and I find this girl that is totally out of my league, but for whatever reason she's fascinated with me, and I'll never have this experience again.
Is she
So
red
I
light
might as well.
district? Are you finding her in a red light district, or you're just like picking her up in an Amsterdam bar?
Yes, she's red light district, and she's on break, and I pick her up in a bar drinking this beer.
Okay, all right.
So why not? Right?
That's yeah. No, you.
And I'm never gonna have it again. So I might as well, because truly, guys, this is a very unique flavor note complex.
Good for you.
It's crazy. Yeah. So I'm gonna have a wild fucking night with this girl, and you know, I know the Elysian Stout, she's always gonna be there for me. She's the dark hair raven, just waiting in the shadows. When I'm ready, she'll be ready. She's my Elvira.
There is nothing wrong for everybody out there, as long as you like your beer. Okay, as long as you find some enjoyment in it, that's the main thing. It doesn't matter who makes it. It doesn't matter where you get it. If you like Bud, okay, fucking fine, great. Bud Light, cool. Coors,
yeah,
good.
Right?
You do you. All right, we're never, ever, ever going to shame you on whatever drink or beer you go. We're going to propose something different, but we're not going to shame you for it. It's like kink shaming. No, fucking do what you want to do. It's cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
You almost picked an Ambev beer.
Oh, really?
Elysian is made by Ambev, yeah.
Well, and good on them. I mean,
hey,
because
if it's a
they're
good
doing
beer,
something right, yeah.
Goose Island, Goose Island.
There you go. Exactly.
You know,
Great.
I can't Bourbon County. I can't knock those. Right.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Cool.
Hell yeah. So what about you? What are you? Who's going to bed with McShane tonight?
Big Cactus. I'm taking the Big Cactus. Okay. Yep. It's going to be prickly.
Who's getting the fall small pink?
Yeah, this is a fantastic beer. It is an absolute fantastic beer.
Nice.
It is that's borderline on a pastry stout. It's almost decadent. Just fantastic. Fucking great beer.
You know what's hard is, besides me, heyo. You know what's tough is, when you have two really just great beers, because I think your first beer was, I mean, I'm really curious to try that. That just looked amazing, let alone what the flavor notes would have been. And then you have like what you're having now, the Big Cactus. It's so over the top. It's so everything that we like. I mean, nothing else could compete with it. You might have had a 9 on your first beer, but this thing is like a 15, right? I mean, it's Spinal Tap. It's like the volume goes up to 11, and so how can you compete with that? And I just, like, I was really hoping that you would pick the Big Cactus because it just sounded phenomenal, but I was kind of pulling for the farmhouse. But that's okay. Yeah. It's all right.
I had to go where my heart went.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. We are going to effort to get Jefé on the after show. So,
oh no!
Oh, he threw up his Percocet.
Oh, I did that one time at your house. Remember that, McShane?
Yeah. Yes, you did.
I took a Percocet.
I think there's a lot of beer involved with that too.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and then I slammed 2 Guinness and a shot of Jameson, and yeah.
All right. Well, maybe we won't have Jefé on. He's in a lot of pain. Birth is hard, guys. No doubt about it. For all of our female listeners, we salute you. You know what? My last drink, I still got a little beer left. This is to you guys.
Yeah. Cheers. And
cheers to you for going through birth
and here's also my second cheers. Here's to Craig. I hope
here's
you
to
come
Craig.
out.
Here's to
I hope
Craig.
you come out right.
We should start a college fund for Craig.
Oh, it's already started, dude. As soon as I heard this earlier today, I started a call. I have a swear jar, and that's going to be the start of Craig's college fund. And believe me, it'll pay for his college because I swear a lot.
Oh my god! If you guys would like to follow us, it is at whiskey_hell on Twitter. whiskeyhellpod.com is the website. You guys can download us everywhere. And if you're listening to us, you think you already figured out where you like to get your podcast from. Make sure you guys think critically, act accordingly. There's a lot of bullshit out there. Wade through it. Be better than what everybody expects. I'm Steve McShane.
I'm Fitz. We love every one of you.
We'll talk to you soon.